following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Phoenix, Arizona, Brother Mike. Yes, back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Today's Bible study, Anger, the Gateway to Hell. Hey, would you call somebody and tell them the radio program's on? This is going to be a really good Bible study today. I'll make some announcements while you make that call. Thank you for your help. This is Brother Mike. I am the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center. 40 years I've been a counselor. Can you imagine that? That's older than you are, period. Yeah. If you go to the website, you'll see all of our ministry services, HardcoreChristianity.com. We have 2 live services every week, Thursday and Friday nights at 7 o'clock. Both them services are broadcast on our streaming channel. Just go to youtube.com/House of Healing AZ. The federal government's about to come up with a new variant to COVID. In fact, I believe they've come up with 2 of them right now as I'm speaking to you. But anyway, they're going to go through that routine again to try to rig the election in November. So the variant's going to break out. If you need a religious exemption from the vaccine for the new variants, that won't work either. Send me an email, Mike at hardcorechristianity.com. I will send you out a religious exemption. If you know somebody who needs to be delivered or healed but can't come to the Deliverance Center, send me an email and I will send you the miracle list, a step-by-step guide to healing and deliverance. When you go to the website, don't forget about my deliverance and healing class every 4th Saturday of the month at noon. Please remember our Zoom deliverance and healing service is Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Arizona and Pacific time. Send me an email and I'll send you the code and the password and you'll be good to go. Anger. There's 2 Greek words in the New Testament you need to be aware of. Orge is the first one, and that means that's a general term for somebody who gets angry. It's defined as passionate indignation. There's a second word in the New Testament called thumos, which is rage. Unchecked anger, orge, always leads to thumos or rage. If you don't check your anger, it will lead to rage. Rage leads to sinful, hurtful, evil, wicked behavior. Rage always generates itself and manifests itself in horrible behavior. A couple of summers ago, Black Lives Matter and Antifa caused over 500 riots all over the country. They caused $2 billion in property damage. What happened? These people became enraged, thumos, over racism and some psycho cop in Minneapolis who killed a black man who was a career criminal. The thing was filmed by 5 or 6 people standing on the curb watching it with their cell phones. The idiot cop who had his knee on his neck was watching them film him. 5 or 6 cops around him didn't do anything about it. It was utter satanic insanity. Well, as you can imagine, people were absolutely enraged over that. That thing went viral, to say the least. It literally spread. Half the countries of the world saw that. And as you know, thumos, rage, led to horrible, wicked, evil behavior. Over 500 riots and $2 billion in property damage. Recently, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. The anger over that decision led to what we're experiencing this summer, a summer of rage. People are protesting, and they are destroying pregnancy centers all over the country. When anger goes to rage, when orge turns into thumos, horrible behaviors and terrible destruction occur. Anger is a normal human emotion. Rage is not. Colossians chapter 3. Mortify your members which are upon the earth. Fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection. This is the King James Version. That's the Greek word pathos. It means negative emotions. Evil concupiscence. Kakos epithumia is the Greek phrase. It means negative or bad or hurtful lusts. Mortify covetousness, which is idolatry. Which things the wrath of God comes upon the sons of disobedience, in which you also walked when you lived in them. But now you have put off all of these: anger, orge, wrath, thumos, malice, that's the Greek word kakia, it means depravity, blasphemy, filthy communication. Iskologia is the Greek word for filthy communication. That means disgusting conversations, filthy talk. Do not lie to one another, seeing that you have put off the old man and his deeds. Anger and rage lead to exactly what Paul listed here: malice, blasphemy, filthy communications. Anger and wrath cause these things to manifest. That's why Paul said that you and I, as born-again Christians, have to mortify our body parts to control these horrible sins that quench the Spirit and grieve the Holy Ghost. If you look at the history in the Scriptures, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about is true. Cain got angry and then became enraged that his offering was rejected by God. When he became enraged, horrible behaviors manifested. What was it? He murdered his brother. The great prophet Moses in Exodus chapter 2, it happened to him. He saw some Egyptian abusing, beating up an Israelite, and he became angry, and then his anger turned to rage. You know what he did? He murdered the guy. Murdered the Egyptian, then buried him in the desert, like a mob hit. Well, what happened there? Moses always had a problem with his anger. He often got angry, and sometimes when his rage manifested, thumos, he would do something unbelievable. For example, God told him to speak to the rock, tell the water to come out. No, Moses got mad. The Jews had driven him crazy. He blew his stack. He slammed the rock. And guess what happened? His rage cost him a trip to the promised land that he never got to see fulfilled until 500 years later when he was on the Mount of Transfiguration. That's when he got his trip to the promised land. God gave it to him after he had been dead for 500 years. He met Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration. Balaam became angry at his donkey because it wouldn't go where he wanted it to go. Well, his anger turned into rage, and he started to beat the living tar out of the donkey. Supernaturally, God allowed the donkey to talk to him and reason with him. And when Balaam, the psycho prophet, saw Jehovah, right after that, his anger and rage left him, and he became a broken and humble man. Esau got played. His mother stabbed him in the back. Isaac went along with it. They tricked him out of his birthright. They outsmarted him. Esau's lust for food and his inability to control his lustful passions, Greek word pathos, ruined his inheritance. He never got it back. What happened then? His anger turned into rage. He vowed to kill Isaac. It happened to Absalom in 2 Samuel 23. You remember that? Amnon raped his sister. Amnon raped his sister and then threw her out and got rid of her. And Absalom stewed in anger for 2 years. He just sizzled in it. And finally his anger turned to thumos, rage. You know what he did? He did what Moses and Cain did. He did what Esau wanted to do. He murdered his brother for raping his sister. If you have an anger or rage problem, you're eligible for free counseling services if you are a born-again Christian at the Deliverance Center, 602-636-5800. If you picked up a spirit of anger and that anger flares up suddenly and quickly, sometimes for no reason, that's a spirit. You are infected with a demon. Once that demon's removed, your symptoms of anger and rage will disappear.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.